Hi, welcome to Tolu's Corner, a lifestyle podcast. It's been a while, right? Consistency. I really need to start taking my own advice. So I saw all of your requests and demands for a new episode, and trust me, I was moved. I love all of you, and trust me, as much as I wanted to drop a new episode, things just did not go the way I planned it. But all of that is past now, and we are here. So we're going to be having a long talk, and I want us to get right into it. On the show today, let's talk about adulting. Adulthood is a ball game that requires a manual, trust me, because there are a lot of things that one needs to be properly educated on before beginning this phase, and one of which is independence. The right time for independence, the mistakes, the benefits. Stay with me as I connect with my amazing guests right after this. So I'm back on the show with my amazing guests. Like I said in the introduction, we'll be discussing independence. On the show with me today, I have a brand and content strategist, a farmer, and an educator. Nice having all of you here. So I'll start with my brand strategist. Steph, kindly introduce yourself.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening to our guests listening in on the podcast and my fellow guest here and the amazing host, Tolu. So my name is Stephanie Obiekezie, and I'm a content and brand strategist. I'm also a graduate of Federal University of Technology, Owerri. My career is based in content management systems, create content, articles, blog, copies for social media, websites, and digital marketing ad copy. So I'm really, really glad to be part of this podcast, talking about adults, what and what not. And it's great to have you here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, pleasure is all mine. So our farmer, Sheung.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Oluwaseun, and I am a farmer, a poultry farmer to be precise. Although in the near future, we'll be branching out into other fields of farming. But basically, what you term an agripreneur, and that's basically what I do. I'm an agripreneur. I love everything that's farming. Thank you for having me on the show. We'll go to
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you. So ILerioluwa, our dear educator.
Hi. My name is
Hi.
ILerioluwa, aka Content Princess. I am an educator. I teach English basically and life generally. I work in a school and I also run a private tutoring for myself. I many things actually. But on top of that, it could be a taste economist and a philosopher. It's good to hear. Thank you for inviting me there, Tolu.
Pleasure is all mine. So quick one. Sheung, before we go into the topic, I'm just curious. What inspired you to become an agripreneur, a farmer, like farmer?
Okay. I've always loved anything that has to do with farming from a very, very young age. I remember when I was growing up as a kid, I used to plant beans and corn on a small place where there was a little soil on the ground. So all these kind of things just came very easy to me, and I'll probably pursue a course or have a career in the agri sector, and fortunately and unfortunately, I started studying agroeconomics school, but I left and I felt theory was not my calling when it comes to agriculture. So I said I would probably be better in the practical sector. So I left school to start poultry farm.
So you left school, like you didn't complete school?
I did not complete school. No.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how's farming been?
It's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. What some people find very boring and odd. Those are the kind of things I find interesting. And
Yeah.
it's this should I call it journey for me? It's eye opening. There were a lot of things I thought I knew. I mean, I felt okay. Yeah, I want to go into farming. I probably know everything, but so far so good. I've been learning a lot, and I do hope I'll be able to put all these things into practice someday. I have a lot of ideas in my head right now, but the only thing that's actually stopping me at point. So, I like I said, I have a lot of ideas in my head, and I want to make sure that these ideas are not just ideas, but they are things that can put
The reality.
in the near future.
That's good. That's good. So to our topic at hand, independence. We know that that's transition from teenagehood to adulthood. There's always that anticipation or that vibe, that ginger that you want to be on your own, do things on your own. You can't wait to leave home and everything. That process where individuals just want to basically do things without questioning, without caution. So our first question: when is the right time to be independent as a teenager? Like, so during that transition, is there a right age for a teenager to be able to like make his or her own decisions?
Sorry, are we talking about teenagers or generally young adults? I think we need to make a differentiation there.
Okay. Young adults. Let's take it young adults.
Okay, I spoke the first time. I think contact presentation.
Okay.
Okay. I wouldn't say there's a right age per se. I think it would be dependent on the individual. If you're emotionally able to make decisions that are smart and you're financially independent, I mean, there should be a level of independence that you get from your parents or your guardians. I wouldn't expect someone that is able to make smart business decisions or smart decisions about career or academic, or choosing what should be of less priority over something that should be placed, on the first scale of preference, to be craving independence in the first place, because you're someone that should still be cared for, apparently. So it will depend on the person. I've seen people of younger ages, of very high IQ and EQ compared to people that are of age, in quotes. So I think it depends on the individual.
Okay. Steph.
I don't think Steph is available now, so I'll just chip in one or two. Like Illeri said, it's individual based. There is no particular age. Using context in Nigeria, where even at the age of teens, some of us are still dependent on our parents. So, Larry said, there's no particular age. It all depends on how, even while you are living with your parents, how are you faring? How do you interact with them? Do you interact as someone who needs something from them all the time, or are you just someone who can take care of yourself without a lot of interference from your parents? So there is no benchmark, there is no age for that.
Okay. Steph, do you have something to say? Okay. So we've established that there is no age. So it depends on the individual. But will you agree with me that people that will I say they are not of age, that they are not they are not of age, they still crave independence. True of us.
Very true.
Very true. So why is there that urge, that drive for young adults to crave independence so early, even when they don't have what it takes to like find balance and footing?
Oh well. I think it would have to do with the home setting or the background. When someone feels stifled, when you feel very caged, I mean, it's just natural to revolt. A lot of people like to go to where to see the intertwine, literally, because we are human beings naturally. Philosophers tell me that human beings are naturally very curious. You know, that place where you say, don't go there, that's where, okay, at the back of your mind, they're like, what is there that they don't want me to see? So when you cage a child so much in your bid to protect them, in quotes, I think that is what breeds a lot of revolt in a child. And they want to so crave that independence of, I want to be on my own away from my parents. But if you see families where there's a bit of democracy, I'm so grateful to God that I'm from one of those homes. Growing up, my father would literally apologize when he knows that he's in the wrong. I would just walk up to my dad and say, oh, I don't like what you did. And then he rationalizes what I've said and thinks about it deeply and apologizes. You know, when you're from such setting, I don't think the quest for independence will be the thing, because you already have a level of that, because there's that trust that, okay, there are boundaries, you know what is right, you know what is wrong, and you don't, go beyond or overboard. But when you keep telling your child you can't do this, you can't do that, you're not expected to have a phone, you're not expected to do this, but they see their friends on the outside, doing all of these things, and there's no adverse effect per se. So they want to test the outside world, which there is nothing there necessarily, but because of the fact that they feel drained and caged, so they just want to test wrong things, and then they end up making the wrong choices.
Oh, good. So you are saying it's the family setting that usually give the individual the drive to crave independence or seek independence.
Yeah, that's what I think. Okay, let me just give a quick example. I have a friend, more like a sister really, and in our house they don't wear trousers, they don't do makeup and what have you, only for her to get to school. And I saw a picture from a matric, and then she was full face baked and all that, and I'm just calling in and like, hey, what's up, I saw your pictures, how are you doing, how's matric going? And then she goes like, oh no, it's not really that, it's not really me, it was my roommate that just said I had to doll up. And 2 weeks later, I'm still seeing her makeup, I'm seeing her wearing trousers, and I'm like, okay, what's going on here? But if she's used to that at home, I don't think she will want to be sneaking around. Or I remember a time when an hostel mate of mine, her mom came to school to see her, and then she was, going crazy, removing her nails, changing up, removing her trousers and all of that, because that's not what is seen in the house. So she has to pretend to be someone else. She's trying to find a way, a balance, whether or not this other person is a person, as opposed to what she's exposed to at home. So if there's a level of, okay, I'm not really accepting of a female wearing trousers or whatever, but okay, you can wear this type of trousers, maybe don't wear crazy jeans, I mean, there should be balance or compromise from both ends. You can't just expect to always order someone around and then just expect them to fall right in. I don't think human beings are wired that way. Human beings would always want to go the other opposite way of what they are commanded to do. So that's how I feel.
Oh, thank you. So Steph, what do you think?
I think to an extent, I agree with what Larry said.
Okay, to
If
an
there's
extent.
a level, yeah. Why I said to an extent is because there's still this line between some people have this whole kind of freedom in their houses, like with their parents, and sometimes some parents like say give out some kind of freedom that's not necessary, that is not like it's too overwhelming for a young child. There should still be this amount of discipline. But why I really agree with her is that I think I can relate to that, the friend she talked about, that you get when there are so many congent rules and constricted this thing in your house, like, and you're not that kind of person. At some point you feel like you want to be free, especially when you're someone that don't really like following rules. I don't know if you get. So, and but that's just one aspect of independence. Another aspect of independence that I feel is related to adulthood is when you want to have a sense of responsibility. At some point in your life growing up, you feel like we all felt it growing up. This one is different from when you're being constrained about some things you want. You feel like you want to have your say. You want to do this by yourself. You want to be in charge of this. You don't want to be babysitted. I don't know if you get my point. Although by the time we all delve into adulthood, we now begin to, oh my God, the responsibility, the money, the expenses. I want to be a child again. But the truth is that it's just because human beings are naturally insatiable. You can't have your cake and eat it. If you want to be a child, there are other factors that are attached to it. You get, if you want to be an adult, if you want to be fully responsible for yourself, for your choices, there are so many things attached to it. So in that aspect, I feel like it's true. If there's a certain amount of freedom you have, you enjoy in your house with your parents, you may not feel that urge to want to leave home like that, except the urge of wanting to be responsible on your own. Because no matter how free you are with your parents, at some point you will need to be responsible, especially if you hope to, like say, get married in the future, have kids. You can't keep staying home. So, but aside that, some people maybe, especially when they get admission. I remember when I got admission into the university, I felt this sense of finally I'm free. It's not like as if I wanted to go and taste the world, or like I wanted to go and taste evil things, but there was a kind of freedom I wasn't getting at home, because my parents are really, really religious, and there's so many things we get. We hardly even, I don't know if you're in Lagos, there's this thing they call get inside. You fall into that category. You hardly go out, although it's part of training. You don't visit people anyhow, except you have something important you want to do. But at some point, there's this, you want to just do your own thing, you get. So when I went to school, I was like, okay, fine, I just want to have my space. And I'm someone that love my privacy a lot. And I didn't really have that going on because I didn't have my own room. So I wanted to like, okay, have my space and stuff. So that's why I said I agree with what she said, you get. Because when you feel like, okay, you want to have your own space, you want to have your own certain amount of freedom and stuff, you're tired of, okay, don't do this, do that. You put small lipstick and my mom goes, don't do that, blah, 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 blah. He tries this thing too. Although, because I'm kind of like, I don't want to say stubborn, but like headstrong, like I want to be my own person. I don't shy away. I do it in the house. Like I wear the trousers so she see it. You get, okay, you know that this is what I like. But at the same time, you cannot be totally free. So
True.
I think that's one aspect of independency.
Oh,
But
okay.
the major thing is responsibility, being responsible. There's this sense it gives to you as a person.
Yeah, true. So we've said that the family structure, the setting, will most times influences or often influences the individual to crave independence like very, very early. So, and when there are a lot of family settings, a lot of home settings, there are a lot of structures in families today that has put young adults in this position of wanting to leave home and explore and do things on their own without being questioned. Are there disadvantages attached to this action of craving independence so early as a young adult?
Yeah, there are disadvantages. First of all, people don't people want to, the truth is a lot of people want to be independent, but they don't want to be responsible. And I think
Yeah.
the two of them go hand in hand, responsibility and independence. So one of the disadvantages is that it comes as a immediately you want to start being independent, or immediately you are independent, you think you begin to see how, I don't want to use the word hard, but that's basically how it is. You begin to see how difficult and
Yeah.
how hard it is to make some decisions. So that is just one downside. I feel it's a downside, but at the same time, it's good because this, you will make mistakes along the way, and if you are if you are a sensible person, you would learn from your mistakes, and it will help you grow as a young adult. Let me put it that way. So that at the end of the day, you don't have stories that touch, or the had I known stories. That was what my parents used to say. They used to tell me that it's better you listen to us so you don't have the had I known stories. So that's one downside to independence. You have to be responsible for yourself, and if another thing comes your way, you will have to level up. That's just it, and leveling is hard. So
Oh, okay. Are there any disadvantages? Any other disadvantages?
Yeah, let me chip in something. I think if you're saying young adults, are we talking about teenagers or youth, like between 14 to 35? If we're talking about, the truth is, teenage age is one of the most difficult ages to manage. To parents rather. Like, I think I'm not a parent yet, but at least I can imagine how I was during my teenage age and when we see other people. So I think when you start being a teenager, there's this sudden willingness to like want to be or want to have your own space. You want to go, or that's where the craving for independence comes in more. But at the same time, it's not really advisable for a parent like to give you that space totally, because that is where you are more liable to make so many mistakes. And then at that point in time, it's not like you want to be responsible. It's more like you just want to have your own space. You don't want someone to babysit you. You don't want rules. You don't want to be disciplined. So I think it will make more sense if parents like give you that independence like gradually. For example, if you have your own room, or like give you your space, okay, negotiate with you, allow you to do some stuff, carry you along, you get, instead of the total, okay, go do your own thing. So that way you're being protected, but you're giving your space, and you will not have that desire to like want to, because most times when you see teenagers or young adults that like they find themselves on their own so early in life, most of them make it through, but they pass through things that, so many choices that they normally would not have if they had guidance, because we cannot take out the fact that you're not mature enough to make some choices on your own. So that's where disadvantage comes in, especially for young adults. So, but it's an advantage when you're already at an age where you need to make certain decisions. Like there's an age with which you are not expected to be attaching yourself to your parents for so many things, or depending on them for so many things. You're meant to be rational enough to make your own decisions yourself. So the advantage comes in if it comes at an earlier age, when you're not legally That's why they have legal age. They have legal ages for taking beer and alcohol and driving. So it comes at an age when you're not legally advised to be totally independent.
Oh, okay. So you said parents should not give the young adults like all the freedom. They should make it steady, like just gradually, so as for them not to make mistakes. Which means when a young adult crave independence so early, they are going to make mistakes, but they're going to make mistakes.
It's life, most likely.
It's most
It doesn't
likely.
mean, yeah, it's going to make me, even old adults still make mistakes. So it's just more like if you guide them and stuff.
Okay. Now, in the course of answering this question, our farmer Sheun said, most young adults want freedom, want that independence, but they don't want responsibility. So, what responsibilities comes with being independent? We've said there are responsibilities, but so what are those responsibilities that comes with being independent?
Oh well, money.
Money.
Yes,
Thank
darling.
you. That's about
Money, darling. If I was told that being an
expensive
adult is there's a lot.
bill.
How?
Us. Debit alert.
Okay.
Okay.
There is the financial aspect of being independent. And I think that's like the major thing.
So you are saying money. So are you saying if a child or a teenager of say 17 is financially stable, has money, let's say the person is a YouTuber or something, does comedy and makes money, so that makes the person you are saying that how would I put it? I say that the person has the right to independence, to freedom.
No, the person is financially independent. That's what that means. I remember mentioning not too long ago, according to Kylie Jenner said she stopped receiving any money from her mom from the age of 13 because she's a model. She started a fashion line and all these other things that she's involved in at a very young age. So you're an actor as a child, you're being paid, you have your money on this.
But it doesn't mean she's not being guided, right?
Yes, of course. But then when it comes to that's why she is financially independent. That person or that child is financially independent because you're not depending on your parents' money per se. Although your parents are the ones that are, helping you manage money.
Manage it, yeah.
You're young, but money is yours, essentially. So that child or that young adult is financially independent.
Oh, okay. We've cleared that. So let's come back to those of us that do not have money when we are 13 years old. So Hilary, you're saying something about money as one of the responsibilities that comes to being an adult.
Okay, let me give you an example.
Okay.
There are some times that my mom, she probably just wants Hilary time, and she comes to my room and I'm like telling her to go out because I want my privacy or something, and she goes like, sorry, it means my house. And when you have your house, you can close your door or whatever. Although because in the moment she's probably just wanting some time with me and I'm not ready to give her that, she just makes such comments, but she is right. It's not my house, it's our house. The room is in our house, so obviously it's still our room, although I'm enjoying privilege of being the caretaker of the room. But she is right. The moment you start, even now, the way I am at the level I'm in, when I drop money at home, give my parents money to, maybe paid for the prepaid or get to the subscription or for food stuff. My mom is very appreciative of that. There's certain things that she probably would have, scolded me for when I was not dropping money. That
exactly.
She So money, my dear, is very low. It plays a
Yeah.
very, even for guys, most guys attain that independence status than girls because most parents treat girls like fragile beings or whatever, which
Exactly.
I agree to or subscribe with 100%. Because both a girl child and a boy child, I feel they should both be the same way. But let me not got feminist in me. So let's just move to the real question here. When a guy starts spending his own money, there's a level to you can't just ask him where are you coming, why are you coming by this time, because he's not asking you to foot the bills or whatever restaurant is coming from or whatever thing he's doing. So I mean, most parents would just be good and laid back, although they would ask once in a while, like, okay, jeje, or like, be careful, but they won't be so all over you as to when you are always asking for, I want to buy this, I want to buy that. As long as they are still the one you're depending for money and all that, there would that question of, what are you using the money for? Where are you coming from? What are you doing? So I think money.
So that means financial independence is a major aspect of being independent as an adult.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're saying basically, majorly, money is the main responsibility attached to being independent.
Yeah. In a way. And then I would, like I mentioned earlier, when you are my younger sister, let me give you an example of my sister. I was trying to do a bit of like sex education with her, and I told her that I was pregnant. That was before my NYSC, and I told her that when I go for camp, I wasn't going to come. I just wanted to know what our understanding of, sex and all of that is. Immediately, my sister took up the responsibility, and the thing she said to me, I was shocked because I wouldn't expect. At that time, she was probably 13 or 14. I wouldn't expect my 14-year-old sister to look me in the eye and counsel me that way. So I saw a level of maturity in her and knew that I didn't need to be worried. She'll probably make smarter boy decision than I would, because I mean, that at that age, for her to be able to give me that advice she gave me, she was telling me that she was going to talk to my parents on my behalf, and she knew that my parents were not going to
take it lightly,
because she knew they were not going to be happy, but she said she was going to be the intermediary and that I didn't run away. But she was quite disappointed. She said to me that, "Well, tell my friend, you've been counseling, like I said, I teach life. You've been counseling my friend as far back as junior school. So what I tell them that this my sister is not pregnant." She felt a bit disappointed, but she still was going to stand by me. She gave me advice on how to go about it, and she was already being a mother, protective of a child, which is now who's our elder sister. So that's for me gave me a picture of my sister as being someone that is mature on a level. So if a parent can see that level of maturity, then a bit of trust here. You don't always show me lower, show me lesser. What does that mean? You don't have to always monitor my movements. Oh, which friend are you with? Well, you can't know all your friends. It's not possible. They meet friends at church, from school, or wherever. So you can't always know this. My mom had an issue with me regarding friendships because I'm quite very sociable, and she's like, which friend is that? Who's that person? So it's easy for a child to lie that, oh, I'm going to meet so and so person because, oh, my mom knows that person. If I just mention that person's name, she won't be worried. And she goes to meet someone else, or he goes to meet someone else using known friend as a cover up. So when you see a level of maturity in your child, you should be able to trust them with a certain level of independence and responsibility. So I think that's another thing that comes into play for independence.
Oh, okay. So let's go into the advantages. What are the advantages that comes with being independent? When a child wants to do things on his own, wants to explore the world on his or her own terms, what are the benefits that are attached with independence?
Is that for me?
Yeah.
Okay, the thing is, following your question, I don't think there's an advantage because you said a child. I think, as I've explained earlier, a child should not be given a certain amount of independence. That's by their children. So if the question is for young adults, like 20, 21, 22, 23, 24,
Yeah,
like
I
youth.
meant young adult. I was seeing a child as someone that has parents. So if you're 30, you're still a child.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah,
So,
Okay.
your mom and dad, you're still a child.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay. I get that. Okay. The advantage. More. The advantage is just the freedom to make your own decisions. Like just like what Larry said, we won't get the incessant. And if you're the thing is, we've not even talked about this independence we're talking about. Is it staying with your parents or not staying with your parents, or is it both? Because if it's not staying with your parents, if it's like you have your own place, the advantage is you have your own space, your freedom, because it's your own place, you're paying the rent over it, and nobody's giving you rules like when to come back and stuff. Even though you on your own, being a matured person and being responsible, you have your principles and guidelines from how you grew up. But you have you have your own freedom, like your own space, you're in charge, you're in control. And the downside that we already talked about is the fact that there are so many responsibilities. You make more choices. You get no longer too dependent on your parents, and definitely the whole bills that come along with it. If you're staying with your parents, but you're now enjoying a bit of independence, like when you were way younger, the advantage is still the ability to be responsible. Especially if your parents trust you enough to handle things, or if you're supporting the home, like you're working and you're bringing money to supporting the family. The advantage is just that there's this sense of fulfillment to give you the person. This sense of fulfillment, like I'm my own person, I can do this. My parents trust me enough to handle this. I'm now matured. And when you begin to start taking some certain decisions on your own, even though we always need guide from people, not only our parents, but when you begin to take responsibility of decisions, there's this sense of fulfillment it gives you, like you're achieving something. Even though at some point it's like we want to always crawl back to when we're children, like now Christmas is coming. Sometimes we have nostalgia. I miss when I'll just sit down and my parents buy me Christmas clothes and I don't need to be stressing myself. But like I said, you can't take it and have it. The advantage is definitely, for me, it's the sense of fulfillment and the self-responsibility the growth and maturity that comes along with it.
So before anybody contributes, I think what the advantage is privacy. Privacy. For me, that privacy is 100% cherished. So Shion, Shion, what's your contribution? Okay, Larry.
All right. I just wanted to add that I think growth is one of the advantages of independence. I'm all for growth. I'm very big on growth. Every of my friendships and relationships are always been that. I want to see what I can gain from you, and of course, I know what I always bring to the table. When you have a level of independence, you feel responsible to a certain extent. You definitely lately want to build your name, your brand, and grow. So growth is a major advantage of independence. But the moment you're being builded or you're still being coddled, and treated as a kid, that restraint, and you're going to be under your parents' shadow, irrespective of what you do for yourself, because they will still attach that name to you. Even now, I don't really use my surname. When I'm being asked my name, I just go by ILerioluwa Esther, I don't really use my surname because I'm building my name, my brand, my own dynasty, my legacy. So that's what it's about. In the end, they've lived their life. You want to live your life. So that level of independence and responsibility that comes with it brings about growth for your own life. So I think that's an advantage.
Growth.
Being
That's cool.
independent.
So now you are removing your father's name from your name.
No, I'm not removing it. I'm still gonna be it even after I get married. I don't think I'm gonna be changing my name. It doesn't really matter. I'm married to you and we're cool, but
Wow.
my
Okay.
name is ILerioluwa. That's fine.
Okay, I get you. So let me just ask a quick one. I want everybody to contribute on this one. How did you feel after gaining your own independence? Okay, independence I believe is it varies for different individual. My own term of independence might be different from what you feel or see as independence. So when you got yours, how did you feel? What was the experience like? So who's gonna go first? Like, there's always that one thing that everybody has wanted to try now, like away from
Yeah.
home. So when you eventually laid your hands on it, what was the experience like?
Okay. Well, me, the only thing I've just wanted is, like I said, my space, my private, like my freedom, my space. I did not really want to try anything uh like okay, not really want to try anything like okay, this thing, like just want like having my space and my freedom. I'll be able to do what I want to do without always being, you get. So the first time I would say I was feeling independent was during my NYSC. Like that was the first time. I'm a home person, even in school. Once it's time for holidays, I go back home. I stayed in the east, but I'm basically, so I go home. I don't. Some people stay back in school because that's why. For some people do things that they would rather not do at home, which not for me. So my own sense of like independence is more like that space, that privacy to do your own thing. So my first experience with independence, the NYSC. That was, and after NYSC, I now decided on my own. Like I think I don't want to be too independent financially on my parents. It's not like they're Dangote actually. So and they've tried to just like do my thing. And suddenly I didn't feel this sense of going back home, like to stay. I wanted to like have my own thing, like be a bit responsible and so. The feeling was more like oh, like an achievement. This is definitely that when I wanted to stay back during my service in IB, many people were surprised because I don't know, maybe I give the baby I just got back, I don't know. So it's like then I now got an apartment and I've paid bills, and just today my dad called me and was telling me that he was reasoning that he does not know if me staying on my own is wise, that I could always come back home, go and stay. And we're not talking about NEPA bills. He was advising me on the cheapest one. You get, and I don't know, I felt different having that kind of conversation with him. And the first time I paid NEPA bill, I told more. I don't understand why people always shout from heaven to earth when we keep wasting NEPA content. You get, so I think it's the sense of fulfillment, the sense of I've achieved something, and it definitely makes you more mature, like and more responsible. Like this, I get married anytime soon. I don't know. It's if the way I manage money, the way I see things, definitely different if I didn't have this sense of responsibility or this sense of independence. So my first experience is more like achievement, growth, like what Larry said. Like I've grown, stuff has grown. To the next step, I can do some things on my own. And like the first day I realized that I've not asked my parents for money in a while, I was being surprised because all through my university days, it's been my parents, you get. So that level of growth gives a sense of achievement.
Or a sense of achievement. Lamide, do you have any contribution? What was your experience like?
It doesn't. Can I chip in something? It doesn't mean like it's wrong for you to ask your parents for something, even though you feel like you're independent. But especially if they are in a very good position to help you when it fix. It doesn't. I don't know if you get my point.
Not really.
Like I said, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I said that. What I said, it doesn't mean like probably, for example, you're financial. It doesn't mean because you have attained the level of financial independence that you cannot move to your parents for assistance. Especially if they are capable of helping you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Yeah.
Really get Stephanie and agree with you. There's something to say, a child will always be a child. Even if you're 50, you're still your father's child.
Yes.
So, I mean, I can still take you out on the screen, buy you dry, and pump, because why? Is your dad or is your mom?
Yeah.
Their job, if they're responsible. The Bible says that a good parent leaves what inheritance for the children. It's not the other way around. It's just courtesy that you want to take care of them and give back to them, being in old age, they're no longer working, they're tired out there. But still, your parents is still your parents. They should still provide for it. So you can still ask.
Yeah.
I do ask.
Oh, okay. Okay, you can. So we've established. I mean, we've said that independence comes with. We said one of the responsibilities that comes with being independent is being financially stable. But we've said that. So there's this question I want to ask. Do you need to be financially stable before you leave home, or you leave home to get financially stable? Like you leave home to get the greener pastures, or you stay at home until you have the bag before you move?
My dear, wisdom is profitable. Like I'll tell most young men want to run away from their father's house. Is your father collecting rent? No. Is he complaining? No. He's financially stable, darling. Have your money. You can go and someone that is maybe teaching or doing what I do. You're barely earning up to 100k monthly. You go and get an apartment in Ikoyi or in BI for 500k or for 1M.5 per year. How much is your salary? You're not going to call it alone. My dear, please be wise. As long as your parents' house is close to where you work, or if you're for you, if not, if you're not spending so much on transport, why not be there? Your father's house. Are they chasing your house? I don't think so. So if you can be there, please I would advise that you stay. As long as you're not getting married in a few months, or you're getting married in a year. But if you are going to settle down and get married, the wise thing to do would be to get an apartment, so you can, have that feel of being a bachelor before you get married. But you're still away from getting married, and your father's house is literally a stone throw where you will now want to go and get an apartment of 1.5M. As per, sorry, but I would not advise that. I would not advise that. You need to have your means. When your rent expires, let's say you have that money for the first year, the usually probably the toughest. You pay agent and all of that. When you get that money for the first year, second year, are you going to ask that same parent that you ran away from to aid you with rent?
I'll run back home. My dad said I should come back home. This is what next time.
That you start packing. Me and the parents take back in. Go back where you come from.
Yeah, I think you should be financially stable, because how are you going to, if you're not financially okay, how are you going to manage yourself when you move away? People have different reasons why they leave their home. Some people, they leave their home is not so convenient. And so probably because of work, which is a very major factor. If you get a job where it's not to home or in a city, you have an option but to find somewhere to stay. So if it's your reason, but if you really don't have any major reason, your place is convenient, your parents are not giving you headache some parents are really problematic, and some people are trying to run away from shadows. Yeah, so your parents are giving you headache, and if it's just privacy you want, I think you should just work to making amount of money before you make that big move. You get, so you won't regret it.
Yeah.
But this illustration you guys are giving, that you have to be financially stable before you leave home.
No. Okay.
There are early bloomers and there are late bloomers.
Yeah.
So basically,
Yeah.
I'm speaking from a guy's perspective, Seth. There's a certain age you'll be at home.
Okay, yeah.
So, okay, let's look at it from a guy's perspective.
So I don't think your reason is first, you don't have a job that takes you out of the state. It would be unwise to work in the Yaba and be going to your parents' house in Ikorodu every day when you can easily get a stuff on the Yaba. That's reasonable. But I don't think you are getting old. The father not gets old. You will definitely get old. But now live when means keep it for a long time. Okay, even looking at the issue of marriage, I would not be getting married to somebody if I know that I'm not to take myself and two other person at least 2 years, or he is not able to take care of himself and two other person. By two other person, I mean me, and by God's grace, we probably have a child, as soon as we probably get married or that. But if you're not able to take care of at least 3 persons, you are like earning your salary or maybe money you've saved up over time, I don't think such person should be getting married. It's the same way. I don't think, you don't have a steady job, you don't have a job, or you don't have a business you're pushing and you want to go and get an apartment. So you take all life savings and get that Koi apartment.
Why keep mentioning Ikoyi?
I'm sorry.
Exactly. Places now.
I'm talking about the money now. Even in Yaba, places in Yaba, I've been looking for a place around Yaba for a while.
And Lagos are very expensive. But I think I get to lose point. There's a level of complacency to be enjoying, or let's say comfort zone.
Exactly.
Enjoying, and see, when you move out, the thing is you have to be wise about it. But there's an age, even your parents will be expecting you to move out and be responsible on your own. In African society, the pressure is more on the guys, to be told. But I don't think I think it can also go both ways. You get, so there's a level of comfort you enjoying, and fairly if you have a certain goal for yourself. Somebody may be making, let's say someone may be making 150k monthly, and let's say like my office is not too far, let me just relax. But when you move and you're handling these expenses on your own, I don't know, there's this extra sense of responsibility that comes, and it will, like, you have more drive to go more, like it hits you, because if you don't make this money, who's going to pay this bill? So there should be there's a certain age. Imagine if you're going to 30 years and you're still feeling too comfortable, and I don't know, I just feel like there's a point. So I think that's the point Tolu is making.
Yeah.
Moving out actually gives you that propel to grow, to build your own person.
It does. It really, but it doesn't mean you should rush it. It's not something you rush. You have to mentally and financially be prepared for it. Yeah.
Staying alone is easy. Maybe I'm thinking of those people.
You say it's easy. It's like
I say it's not easy now. Like bills and all of that. It's a lot. My subscription, my Netflix, my Showmax, my DSTV is there, and NEPA bill, all of that. But my parents' house is what I eat. I don't think it's one enough food to come and cooking support everybody. I'll be eating.
You don't want to move out of your comfort zone, have you?
I'm out of comfort zone. I can't remember when last I went to my parents. For community.
Okay. So, as a young adult that is just getting exposed to this whole independence thing, for them not to make the mistakes that we've made, or most young adults make in the bid of them getting independence, what are the right ways of getting independence?
Uh,
Can I?
Communication.
Can I again?
Yeah, yeah.
Chill, we've missed you. Yeah, where have you been?
Yeah, but not listening. So, um, saying that people should not make the same mistakes that we've made is not something that's visible. The truth is, we will like someone said earlier. It is when your parents tell you, okay, this is not where you should go. That is where we want to go. So I think we should. It is how much we try to avoid making the same mistakes our parents are keep on making the same, and we keep on adding more mistakes. So it is not. I thought it's not possible for them not to make mistakes, but the real should I use the word coco? The cocoa is for them to be able to learn from that and not repeat it again. That is the cocoa.
So indirectly, you are saying you want them to make the same mistakes you've made.
I don't want them to make. They will make that mistake. It is
Definitely, but putting them through will make their mistakes minimal.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, in a way.
Okay.
Like
I think I have a phrase. I think I have a phrase for that. People would say experience is the best teacher, but I differ. I beg to differ rather. I would say that history is the best teacher. Let me give you an example. Most parents lie to you in a simple way. They tell little lies here and there, and we all know where it's bad to lie. It's a sin to lie. Don't see it as lies because these things are lies. Imagine your parent telling you as a girl child that don't let a boy touch you. Once a boy touches you, get pregnant. And a boy touches me on my arm, I don't get pregnant. It touches me on my waist, I don't get pregnant. It makes me want to push further. Where else can he touch? That I was pregnant. So if you complain as a parent, they had their fair share of shenanigans. Oh, I did this in my youth, and this is the end product of it. Instead of coding things and all children, teenagers, young adults know more than you even. They have the internet. They have all of these things at their disposal. So why don't you make them learn from your history instead of coding things here and there, and then you lead them into that trap that you are actually trying to protect them from. Because when you keep kidding a child, don't go here, go there, not explicitly saying why should I not go there? A child will ask why should I not go there? So if you give them history to learn from, then they don't necessarily have to go through that experience. So that's, I think, one angle or one aspect to it. I always like to share a story in conferences or whatever when I talk to young girls and boys, especially girls, because I can relate to that more because it's my gender. I would tell them things I've done, financial wise, social wise, and relationship wise. Although I wouldn't say I've been a type of person that has gone through outbreaks or whatever, I know how to do these things because I read a lot, and that has shaping the type of person I am, and even how I grew up as traditional Christian people. But a lot of things that I know I didn't learn from them. I picked it up from reading here and there, learning past people's experiences, and I use that to also teach other people. So I think that would go a long way in helping people from making the mistakes. And how do you gain independence? I don't think there's a way or a wrong way. Communication is key. Like I said, we operate a democracy. I don't know. I bless God for my kind of home or our group. Even though parents are traditional people like African parents, they still give us a level of independence in a way that to decide. Even when I was going to school, I gained admission into 2 universities, OAU and University of Ibadan. I was told to choose what I wanted.
Even with my course, they told me to be a lawyer or be a this or be a that. I've changed what I want to be in this life. I don't know how many times. And my parents would give me that room of expression. So I think that goes along with communicate. Let your parents know what you want. Let them also listen and communicate back what they think you fit best in, instead of fighting each other. When you want to lodge your opinion over your child, then there's a problem because they would not agree with you. Even if you're saying the right, because you're trying to use force, then already it's counterproductive. So you as a child, so don't try to force independence from your parents. Let me give you a quick example. I remember even up until now, I won't say I'm 25. I'm completely independent from my parents because my mom, my dad still have the say in some of the things I do. Currently, my parents are in camp. I'm not camp. I'm not going to camp. I'm sorry. My mom has been trying to get me into coming around. But let's face it, I have exams in that stretches about 2 weeks, and I'm taking permission from work. I'm going to take permission for camp 1 week, take another permission for my exams. Thinking about it rationally, yeah, I know what is best for me. I've paid for my exams already. I can't afford to miss my exams. I can always attend more camp meetings other times. I don't fight with them about I'm not coming to camp. We go back and forth. I just made them see reason, communicated this. If you're the owner of a firm or company and your worker comes and says, "Ma'am, I need 1 week off for a camp meeting. After another 1 week, ma'am, I need 2 weeks off for an exam." Would you grant those? She had to see reason with what I was saying. I had to communicate that. I think communicate when you want to take steps. You don't fight over it. My mom was, we were not growing up. I'm closer to my dad. I tell my dad stuff, boy stuff, a lot of things, And mom will even think my father would probably be the more rigid person because he's the pastor, and my mom is just the regular in church. But my dad is more, I don't know, understanding more. He would dialogue and see where you're reading from. My mom would be like, "You can't go out with special friends." I just left her to a bit. If I want to go out, I'll go out, and then come back. Nobody dies. Nobody knows that I went out. But the moment I now say, "Oh, mom, I want to visit someone," and she starts questioning, "Who is that? What's the person's house address? What's the person's phone number?" I started doing to her. After I have gone out, without taking permission or whatever, maybe 2 weeks later, I'm telling her that that's true. 2 weeks ago, I was in Paja. And she's like, "How did you get there?" Then she knew that if I'm coming to tell you about things I'm doing or things I'm involved in, it's because I love and I respect you. And I also want your feedback and I want us to communicate. But if you want us to, have a fight, I can always have my way, do what I want to do without telling you about it. But I think communication is what I'm driving. If there's that room for that, there won't be an issue of us battling, going back and forth about I want to be independent. It's not time to be independent.
Larry, I stay in Ibadan in case you come next time.
Oh, wow.
So, like Larry said, communication is key communication is key, and not just communication, effective communication. Saying something, understanding me, something understanding you, and you're able to respect every decision that I make as a young person. So that's very key in having that independence from our parents, and generally having independence. So what's next?
Okay, so we've come to the end of today's episode.
And I'm
Hallelujah.
I'm grateful for having all of you here. ILerioluwa, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Shane, I'm very, very appreciative. Steph, my ex, thank you for being here.
What did you say?
Thank you.
Oh, she understands. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah. So, the main emphasis is just to guide young adults that are at the stage of seeking independence, or they haven't gotten that independence. so they will not make the same mistakes. So on that period of that process of growth, that period of self-realization, they should know the right steps to take. Like our able educator has said, that communication is key. You don't demand independence. They say respect is reciprocal. Like
Yeah.
the way when you are ripe for independence, it is going to show. You don't have to be vocal, or there are ways and method to go about it. So thank you all for listening. Thank you for coming to the show once again, everybody. I really, really enjoyed the conversation tonight. Till next time, bye bye.
Thanks for
Bye.
having you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having us. It was good to be